Great, so now we added this save area view. Let's now continue with styling and laying out the rest of this game screen. And this opponent's guess text, for example, should be a title, not a small little text as we have it here. And to make it a title, we can add some extra styling. For this, I'll add a title property here. And then we could say that a title should have a font size of 18 maybe. Maybe it should have a font weight of bold. That might make sense for a title. And we can give it a certain color. The color is up to you, but here I want to use a yellowish color, and I'll use the yellow color I have here in the start game screen. So I will assign that here. Now with that assigned, we can go back and add our style here like this. If we do this, this is looking better, but I'd also like to center it. So I'm also going to add text align center. And maybe we ramp up the font size even more to 24 pixels. And this looks better. Now, what I want to add in addition is I want to add a little border around this title. And I also want to add some padding therefore, so that we have some distance between the border and the actual text. So I'll add a border width of 2 here, and a border color of that same yellow as I had it before. And last but not least, I want to add some padding here in all directions of, let's say, 12. And with this, I have this kind of title. Now, of course, you can adjust the title to look however you want it to look, but I'm quite happy with this result. By the way, the layout is not final. We will make sure that this is all pushed down a little bit more in the future. But now we have this title, and it's probably fair to assume that we might be using a title like this quite frequently in our application. Maybe on different screens, but typically with the same styling, or maybe minor styling differences. And therefore it would make sense to outsource this text into a separate reusable component, because that is what we typically do in React when we do have elements that are used in different places of our app. So in the components folder, I'll add a new file, which I'll name title.js. And in there, I'll add a component function, which I'll also name title, which I'll of course export as always. And the job of this component is to display such a configurable title. So we can grab this text here from the game screen and cut it from there and add it here as a returned JSX code. Of course, for this to work, we need to import text from React Native here in this title.js file. And the text here should of course not be set in stone. Instead, I'll remove it and I'll use object destructuring here to pull the children property out of my incoming props and use that here so that the actual content that is displayed by the title can be set by adding it between the opening and closing tags of my custom title component. And now in GameScreen.js, we can use this custom title component. Of course, for this, you must make sure that it's being imported. And then here, we can output opponent's guess like this. Now for this all to work, we also must migrate our styling, and we can therefore cut the title style from the game screen and move it into the title component. There, of course, we must import style sheet and create our styles via style sheet create like this, adding the title property. With all of that, if we save everything, we got the same title as before and nothing changed here, but we have this reusable component which we could use in different parts of our application.